Good morning, parents. Thank you for taking the time on this rainy day to come here. But today's session is not meant to give you information. The session is to listen to the unheard voices of our children. Something that they will not tell you, they will not tell me, but they have shared at the previous session that we had. And therefore, I thank all of you for coming, because this is not a one-off session where we just come, attend, and we go. But it is a combined action on the part of the school, the teachers, the parents to help our children. And one thing we need to know, that in this struggle, it is not only the students who are struggling, parents are also struggling. We struggle to understand what our children go through. Our teachers go through the same struggle, and therefore if we come together, I'm sure we can find viable alternatives to help our children. We had 5 unfortunate incidents last month in Vasai, and after that I told the students this: I am not bothered whether you do well. I'm concerned if you are there in the school. Okay, and we want our children to be with us. We want our students to be with us. And therefore, I would like to thank all of you all for coming here and making this session possible and starting a movement. So it's not something that, it's not one-off. It's not that we finish this session and we say, we go home, we've done our bit. No, we've not done our bit. We've just started a movement. Thank you very much. Leeyan, I request Erica to just welcome Dr. Leeyan.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Just as Brother Thomas also mentioned, when we asked for feedback from the children, around about 5 or 6 children, now we've started this trend where we have student reporters at the end of every article every event that we do. One only very important thing came out. Thank you for starting this, but we wanted to continue. Okay, we would like these type of sessions more, because we have started realizing that there are some issues and they are trying to remove it out. Okay, so we are very lucky today that we have Dr. Leeyan with us. Okay, she's a senior registered therapist with the Rehabilitation Council of India. She's a PhD scholar in clinical psychology. She has more than 13 years of experience in mental health and child development. She's a founder of Hope, a center which we have in Vasai itself, which focuses on mental well-being as well as in child development. She's a senior clinical psychologist even with Cardinal Gracious Hospital, and her forte or her main area of research and work is in psychotherapy and developmental therapy. So she helps a lot of individuals to achieve a holistic well-being. So we are very fortunate that she took time to come and address the parents today, to just share some of the concerns that our children have voiced out. So Leeyan, please take the stage.
Thank you, Dr. Leeyan, for taking time for us. As a session moderator, we discussed many things with Dr. Leeyan, and to lay down the foundation, I would take a few minutes interacting with you all so that a foundation is laid down for Dr. Leeyan to take up the session. At the outset, I congratulate the students of St. Xavier School for giving us an opportunity to have a discussion on this sensitive topic that they have put forward. So today's topics are not from anyone else but your children itself. I also congratulate the school as well as the parents for making the children matured and bold enough to voice their concerns. It was not easy for children to voice the concerns that they have pointed out. I am sure the concerns raised by these children are the concerns and are representative questions of the similar concerns faced by the children of the same age group, and hence we have decided to record this session and put on YouTube so that the parents who are not present today and parents of the same children of the same age group can benefit out of this session. We just know that questions have been asked, but we do not know which student has asked any of these questions. It can be any child of any parent sitting here asking these questions. Now, that's a little frightening. Let me ask you a few factual questions. Now, as we are coming towards the session, let me ask you certain factual questions that will lay the foundation for the session and get you mentally prepared for it. First, when a child is born, what does the child do when the child is hungry? Immediately, 1-2 days, what does a child do? The child cries. And then the child gets into the habit of crying for something they want. As they grow up, the cry becomes demand, right? So if they want something else, toys, chocolates, ice creams, they start crying. And as they start crying, because we are in the habit of providing them when they are hungry, we get into the habit of providing them whenever they cry for anything else. And as this habit increases, it becomes a vicious circle. Then it comes to a stage where students or children demand, we give. If we don't give, we are scared now. We have reached to a stage where we get scared. If we don't provide, we might lose the child, and then we give. And then, looking that the parents are giving, the child demands more. This is a vicious circle that has formed now. Just one question. How many students, how many parents have given, be frank, how many parents have given phones to their children? Raise your hands. I mean, it's nothing wrong. I know the numbers. That's why I'm asking you. Right? I know that 85 to 90% students have phones. Why are the phones given? Not to be on net. The phones are given so that students interact with their friends. If they are absent, they get the notes. We don't want to get involved. Let them do, let them handle. If they are absent, they get notes, they discuss their school. But at the same time, you are giving the phones the whole world. The whole world. For our children, we cannot coordinate amongst other parents to get notes for them. We ask the children to coordinate amongst themselves. Parents have become so protective that I had got a parent, a PTA member coming and telling me some 2-3 years back, one parent has asked that PTA member to request brother and the school not to let them play on the field during the breaks. Why? Because the student may fall down and hurt himself. We have become so protective of our own children. In our times, if a child misbehaves, the teacher had the authority to cane them. Now, even a slightest touch to the student and parents go and file FIR. where will the respect be? Where will the fear be? There is no fear. I have taught in GG college for last 21 years, and I know what students do in the college once they come from the school to college. I have seen that. There is no fear. The protectiveness is so loud that children feel that they can do whatever they want to, and my parent is there to protect me. If you would, when they cried, if you would have said no to their demand, the child will learn the letter no, and that no will be applied throughout their lives. Do parents say no these days? Many of them say, many of them don't. Coming to the last question, if I were to tell each one of you individually that I have seen your child vaping, smoking, drinking somewhere, how many of you would trust my word? I am not asking you to raise the hands. How many of you would trust my word? Think for yourselves. I have experienced this. First thing that comes from the parent's mouth is माझा मुलगा मुलगी अशी नाही, ते असं करूच शकत नाही. My child is not that way. They will never do. And your child knows this, that you trust your children blindly, and they take advantage of this. That is again that vicious circle. Okay? Now all these questions, I have just raised the concerns. All these questions, all these problems will be answered by Dr. Leeyan. I have set the stage for her. I request Dr. Leeyan to address us and address our queries. Thank you.
Good morning, parents. I'll just give you all a gist of the student session which we had, okay? There were 3 major highlights for this session. The very first thing was, we asked them to draw, write or describe their safe place, okay? And across all these 4 standards, almost 50% of the students didn't have a safe place. We further explained them what is a safe place. It could be a person, a place, an activity which you can fall back on when you are in distress, or when you feel like, the world is coming to an end. Yet, they didn't have a safe place. So, this 50% means half of your children's parents who are here present, they don't have a safe place to go. Second thing was, we wanted them to understand the struggles, the pressures which they are dealing and facing these days, where we spoke about addictions, we spoke about different kind of stress, we spoke about loneliness, okay? We spoke about suicidal thoughts, okay? And the third major thing was the connection with parents. How do they feel connected with their parents? How safe they feel communicating with their parents? Again, here there was a huge lack. None of the child confidently said that I will go and talk this to my parent. I can go and share this with my parent. Everybody had to say that my parent will not understand this. My parent is going to shout at me or raise their voice on me. They are not going to understand what I am going through. So, at the end of the session, what we did is, there was no teacher present. It was me and my team who were there. We just asked them, ki, you write down whatever you want to tell, ask, vent it out, without mentioning your name. So nobody will know who has written what. And that is the time when these questions came up, which was scary. I myself was numb for that 5-10 minutes because there were so many questions on addiction and suicidal thoughts. So many questions. Repeatedly asking about vaping, repeatedly asking about porn addictions, repeatedly asking about relationships, being addicted to a person, being addicted to a guy. There were questions about suicidal ideations. I feel depressed. There is a lot of toxicity at my home, in my family, in my parents. And somewhere, we were not prepared for these kind of questions, to be very honest. We were not prepared. We were more towards confidence, self-esteem, yes, body image, body shaming. We were more looking towards that. And that is when the PTA committee was like, we need to talk to parents, and that is how we are here. So this session is not to tell you all about parenting, how to parent or something like that. Let's look at the practical solutions which we can discuss about these questions. I have categorized this question into 5 broad areas. The very first is loneliness. Second, stress and pressure. Third is relationship. Fourth is addiction. And last is suicidal ideations. Okay, so we'll go one by one. The very first thing, the silent killer, loneliness. Now, I want you all to think, why, if your child feels lonely, then why he or she must be feeling lonely? Loneliness is not as same as being alone. Huh? Being lonely doesn't mean that being alone. You can be around people, yet you feel alone. That is loneliness. So can you all just think, if your child is someone, because obviously they are not going to come and tell you this. Probably they do. They might communicate like, I don't have anyone to play. I don't know where to go. You are not sending me to play. I don't know how to spend time at home. I want to join some class. I want to go at my friend's place. All these statements somewhere indicates towards loneliness. Think for yourself. Why my child is feeling lonely? The causes could be XYZ reasons. Single child. Okay, but then again, not every single child is lonely. There have been several cases where they have siblings, where they have a lot of friends, yet they feel lonely. Yet they report feeling left out, feeling alone. Now, what can we do about this? What can we do about the loneliness in children, which is causing a lot of suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety? The very first thing is communicate. You need to talk. And when I say communicate, it is not about what did you do today at school? What did you study? What did you eat? Did you meet your friend? Go beyond that. How did you feel during break time? How did you feel around your friends? Oh, you had gone for this play. So how did you get involved with them? Were you accepted? Did you feel a part of that group? This is where you open a window to interact about their emotions. We usually do very materialistic transaction with our kids. Which game did you play? Acha this, how many people were there? How many kids were there? Then your friend had come. Okay, then after that what you did? We don't talk about feelings. We don't talk about emotions. So start asking them questions in those direction. How do you feel? Simple, basic question. How did you felt? How was your mood? How are you feeling right now? How did that activity make you feel? Do you like your break time? How do you feel during your break time? Your child might come and tell you, I am all alone. Nobody talks to me. I don't feel I am accepted. They ignore me. This conversation is very important. Second thing is, we need to prepare them for rejections. We all know that we have faced rejections in a social setting. We are not welcome every time. We might be invited, but we are not welcome. We might have been in a social setting where we have felt like, oh, I shouldn't have been here. नसती गेली किंवा नसता गेला तर चाललं असतं. Right? So that is rejection, social rejection. You need to prepare and talk to your children about this, because most of them these days don't know how to face rejection. Too much of goodiness, too much of protection is not helping them to face the real life challenges. This is hampering their problem solving skills, because somewhere we are making or we are solving their problems and giving them ready-made. Okay, see, this is how it is to be done. Okay, there is a project, I'll do it for you. Okay, you tell me what needs to be done, I'll finish it for you. No. Somewhere you have to make them ready to take that responsibility, face the consequence. Okay, this is your homework, this is your assignment, this is your exam, you need to study. If you don't study, you are going to fail. Let them face that failure and understand the consequence of their action. If I don't study, I am not going to pass. I would fail the exam. Probably that one failure will make them equipped enough to solve that problem. Ki, okay, I need to probably study 1 week prior, 1 month prior for my exam so that I can clear this. Meanwhile, you're doing this, just be there behind. I am not saying that leave your kids. Don't be available. I am not asking you all to neglect what they are going through. But just making them understand that failure and rejection is a part of life. You can overcome it. You can start over again. Probably next time you can be like, okay, let's discuss how to solve this. You tell me, what's your plan? Then we will probably not have these thoughts of giving up on life. Because they are already conditioned, you have already shaped them to handle the rejection and the pressure that is coming. They know that this is not the end. Failure is not the end. Another thing for loneliness, what we can do is, you might have heard about pet therapies, which is very famous and have significant impact on children's mental health. if your child is consistently telling you that I am feeling alone, there is no one, and genuinely there is no one at home, no one in the surrounding, because nowadays we have got into a nuclear setup, and to be very honest, we cannot change it. Let's think practically, like we cannot become, or we cannot shift into a joint families or whatever due to XYZ reasons. So we are in a situation which cannot be changed at this moment. But probably adding a pet, and pet could be a low maintained pet, like I'm not asking for a dog or a cat or something like that. It could be a bird, it could be a small fish pot, which will give them a sense of, like, I have a companion. It really works with kids. Really, it works. Another important thing is hobbies. Encourage at least one hobby in your child. And let them practice that when they are alone. They need to understand that every time they are not going to be surrounded with people. Every time they are not going to have someone available for them. Which is the truth and fact. In today's economic condition, I cannot tell parent that one of you sit at home and be available. It's not a practical solution. So you need to teach them that how to spend their alone time at home. Probably reading, painting, drawing, planting. Encourage some hobby which will help them with this handling or dealing with the feeling of loneliness. And if possible, include them or teach them strategies how to become a part of a group. We all have at some point initiated conversations, we have made friends. So your experience are more than enough to tell them how to make friends, how to start a conversation, how to join a group. Why I tell parents that your experience is important? Because they are part of you. What you share with them, what experiences of yours, your strategies are the most applicable to your students, rather than a outsider or a third person telling you what should be done with your child. This is what I strongly believe. Moving towards the next concern, stress and pressure. Everybody is stressed. Anyone in this room can tell me that we are not stressed or there is no pressure. And so are our children. Just because he or she is a child doesn't mean that they don't have stress and pressure. They also have stress. They also have a lot of pressure on themselves. Now this pressure could be coming from you, scoring 10 on 10, 9 on 10, 8 on 10. Have to excel, have to win a game. This pressure could be from school, academic pressure. Not everyone is intellectually above 100 IQ, right? Our school curriculum is such which is designed for average IQ score, that is 90 to 110. Now anyone who is not falling in this range is going to suffer, is going to struggle with their academics. Many times the pressure could come from parents or the pressure could come from teachers. That your child is not doing this, not doing that, he is not scoring well, not doing well in this particular subject. And pressure is when you keep hammering on their weaknesses. When you know math is a weak point or a weak subject, has difficulty, or English, language, literature is the weakness. What we usually do is we focus on that. We focus more on that area. This is where we go wrong. We overlook the strengths. My child is really good at math. His literature is average. Let it be average. He doesn't have to be good, performing best on all the subjects. Everybody, even you, have your strengths and weaknesses. We ultimately have to choose a profession. Everybody is not going to become a doctor. Everybody is not going to become a CA, a lawyer. We get into a profession as per our caliber, as per our potential. So same applies at a school level. When you encourage your child for their strengths, you will have less of these concerns. Low confidence, low self-esteem, I am good for nothing. I am like a burden to my family. These kind of thoughts will reduce. If you know that your child is excelling in a particular area, it could be even a sport, try to encourage them in that aspect. Try to encourage them in that area. Okay, it is okay for you to score 50%. Let's focus on your badminton training. Let's focus on your football training. Trust me, you will see good improvement with their academics also. Because a person who is confident is much more capable than a person who is just intelligent. For example, how many of you remember the rankers of your school days? Where are they and what are they doing? You will have some set of individuals from your batchmates, who are doing extremely well in their life. Must be earning well, have good name, good reputation. They are probably not the first ranker. They were not the first ranker in the class. That is the importance of being confident. Trusting, having that trust in own self. That is important. Peer pressure. Something which we all have faced, our kids are facing. And it's something that, like, we can't just tell our kids that you don't have to listen to them. You have to say no to them. You can change your friend circle. It is not easy. We all are social animals. We need to be accepted. There is a very strong need to be accepted. So that peer pressure is something which the students are struggling with. You need to talk about this. You need to ask them, you need to equip them with strategies how to say no. How can you practice assertive communication? How can you say no in a very good way? We have done this. We all know. We all have said no for something or the other. Discuss that with your children. Teach them the strategies of delaying things. And this will happen with observation also. As Leroy already mentioned, that you have to start doing that to them. Instead of, you might have experienced that if your child is asking for something and if you directly say no, they don't take it well. There will be tantrums, crying, yelling, silent treatments, not talking to you, right? So then we over the time try to modify and not say a direct no, but we can put it in a way, okay, let me think how I can do this for you. Give me a day time, delaying things. Can we do this on a weekend? If it is the mother would be like, okay, I'll ask dad. I'll talk to your dad and I'll get back to you. So over the time we learn how to say no indirectly. This you have to teach your children also. And you have to practice with them. So that they observe, they learn, and then they implement. So that day in student session, there were a lot of students who were asking about, like, how to say no. We don't want to do a certain things, but when our friends pressurize us, we feel helpless and we give in. Even though we don't want to do, we know it is not good, but still we give in. So a very, very simple strategy here helps is delay. Delay it by a day, a week. Because the same situation or the same demand from your friend, after a week might not come with the same intensity. If a friend of yours is offering you with a vape, a cigarette, you can just tell him, okay, today I'm not feeling that good, I might try it next week. Let's do it next week or something like that. So in a very good way, you are saying no. Because next week you can avoid the situation of being with that person. Next week probably that child might also forget to offer you, or he might understand that he is not interested. So it won't be like a pressure. The third thing, relationships. We had girls crying after the session, standing here and crying, telling us how they are into a relationship, they feel trapped, they want to get out of it, they are being ignored, they are being rejected by guys. My dear parents, you will notice that your kids initially come to you and tell you everything. When they are small, kindergarten, primary or something like that, they come running to you and they will tell you, Mama, this happened, that happened, I did this, I ate his tiffin, I hit this child. Even if they are wrong, they will come and tell you. But you will notice that this communication changes. And when I ask parents, they tell me that they like to talk to their friends more. But why? What changed there? Your rejection, your judgment changed. They are sharing habits with you. Immediately we judge. You did wrong. Why did you hit him? You had your tiffin. Why did you eat his tiffin? This is not the right behavior. This is a wrong thing to do. No. Where are you listening? You have stopped listening and then they have stopped sharing. If we start doing this, I know at this stage it is very difficult to get them back sharing things. But I believe there is a way out. You can start sharing your things with them. Start giving your updates. Today this happened. I had a fight with a lady in the local train while I was traveling. I'm feeling so bad about it. It was so bad. I was angry. Today my boss yelled at me. I felt insulted. I'm not feeling good. By doing this, you are creating a safe place for them to communicate about their emotions and feelings. Because they see you doing the same. My dad or my mom is sharing her things, her struggles, what mistake he or she did today. So it is okay for me also to share these things. Ki mama, today there was this guy who approached me. He was there standing out of the school. He's been there from few days. He's coming behind me. He's trying to talk to me. These conversations will increase. And then please don't start passing your judgment. This is wrong. Tell your teacher. You don't talk to him. You don't do this. No. The very first thing, how do you feel about it? Maybe your son or daughter is liking that attention. She is feeling good about it, that somebody is constantly giving me that attention. That means there is a need. There is a need for attention. There is a need for someone to be there for me. If you go ahead and ask, if you have ever come to know about your child's relationship, having girlfriend or boyfriend, just sit with them and ask how do they feel and what exactly is the need. What are you getting out of this relationship? When we asked this to the students, it was attention, somebody to fall back on, somebody who is there for me, to talk to me always. I can share my things. He or she is not judging me. All these are the needs why they are into a relationship. When you understand this, you can channelize their needs. See, this could be a good friend of yours. Why a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Can you not label this relationship as a boyfriend or a girlfriend? Try to have this healthy conversations. Try to discuss boundaries, physical, emotional boundaries. And I know that every parent sitting here knows how to cater or how to facilitate their kids with all these strategies. The only thing that we don't do is we don't have these uncomfortable conversations. What we feel is if I talk about boyfriend and girlfriend, she will go tomorrow and have one. But you don't know, they already have. Only you are in that delusion that they don't have any boyfriend or girlfriend or they don't have feelings. At our times, like when we were in school, all this used to start at what? 8th, 9th, 10th, right? Now, primary, 5th standard, 4th standard, they have feelings, they have attractions. They call it's a very innocent kind of attraction, but still they label them as boyfriend and girlfriends. And this is due to X number of reasons, as we are not getting into the causes, but it could be the exposure that they have, the online exposure. It is also because of the diet. The hormonal changes are rushing in quite early, right? So it could be due to n number of reasons. But having that uncomfortable conversation, so are you liking somebody in your class? Do you have some feelings for someone? Is important. It is important so that they come and communicate to you. And later, you can get into what can we do about this situation? Can you try to handle it this way? Can we go about it this way? Can you try being just friends and see whether it is the same bonding that you have, whether all your needs are fulfilled being just good friends. So very calmly, peacefully, you are telling them that relationship at this age is not right. If you tell this to them directly, it is not going to be accepted. They will not accept your opinion. Next, addiction. There were so many questions on vaping that from 8th and 9th graders. I know my friend who is addicted to vape. I am addicted to vaping. I am addicted to porn. Vaping means e-cigarettes. They are as harmful as cigarettes, but there is some misconception about vaping in today's generation that vaping is kind of safe. And that misconception is merely just because it doesn't smell like cigarette. It smells good. Even if your son or your daughter is doing it at home, you will not know that they are actually vaping or they just had a e-cigarette. It smells good. So this is widely used in school-going children, colleges. Every child would have one in their pocket. Easily available in Vasai. And we don't talk about this. We don't educate our children on this. Most of the parents are also not educated about this. Most of the parents don't even know what drugs are available in our areas nowadays. They are still living in their sweet era where all this happens at Bombay. हे बॉम्बेला होतं, हे आपल्याकडे नाही होत. But outside the schools there are children who sell all these things. You need to be aware, you need to tell, you need to educate your children about this. That something like this might be there, something like this might be offered to you. Go, research, Google, tell them how harmful it is, what will happen. When we spoke about addiction, the stages of addiction, the students of 8th, 9th were all most of them felt like they are already addicted, either to screen, either to vaping, either to some person. Most of them were completely shaken that, okay, I am at this stage of addiction already. So there are 5 stages of addiction, just for your knowledge. The very first stage is exploring, which starts with curiosity. Let me try what it is. And the second stage is the daily use of it. From trial, it gets to daily use. Most of your children who spoke about addiction or had some kind of addiction already felt as if they are in the daily use phase of addiction. They have crossed that experimenting phase. Now this experimenting phase is very important, where your children have to come and tell you that, see mom or see dad, this is something that has come up new. This is a new game my friend has introduced to me. I'm going to try this. This is some new tablet which has come in market, and they say if you take this, you feel very happy. You feel very energetic. This stage, they have to come and talk to you. If they don't, if they don't, then they are not far from getting addicted. Because all these e-cigarettes, cigarettes, alcohol, all kind of drugs have addictive substances. They are made to make someone addict to it. The last part, suicidal ideations. When there were so many questions coming up about having suicidal thoughts, having suicidal ideations, there was a child who was crying and asking us for help, that how do I stop these thoughts? They are so strong. Dear parents, don't be scared. If you notice something, the very first thing is, if you notice that your child is not behaving right, aggression, anger outbursts, not talking to you properly, being alone, always being in their room, avoiding things, their academic performance has suddenly dropped, not going out with friends. As a parent, you get that instinct, you get that feeling that something is wrong with my child. Don't be scared to ask, are you getting some bad thoughts about life? Do you feel helpless? Do you feel hopeless? Are you getting any suicidal thoughts? Now, many times parents say that if I ask this, will it be like I am implementing an idea? No. You are not. Just by asking somebody, are you feeling suicidal, doesn't make them feel suicidal. This is the worst myth, that if I ask, they will start thinking about it. No. If you ask, there is a high chance that they will break down and they will tell you that, yes, mom, or yes, dad, I am not feeling good, I am getting these thoughts. And dear parents, sometimes many of the kids are very loud about this. I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling anxious, you're not understanding me, I'll go and do this, I'll go and do that. Don't take it as a attention-seeking behavior or a joke. Many parents, so last week only there was a girl who was got to me, and the mother was like, twice she told me that she will end her life. But I know this is just an attention-seeking behavior. She's just trying to manipulate us, because last week there was some glitch with her phone and her phone has got spoiled, and there was a delay to repair it. That's the reason she has been talking all this nonsense. We know, but yet for a safe side, we thought that we will get her to you. I was like, okay, you send her in. When I sat and spoke to that girl, there were several things that happened on that particular day when she told her mom that I'm going to end my life. The very first thing is, because her phone was not functioning, there was some assignment which she had to complete at her classes. And nowadays, I think they get it on their WhatsApp or on their phone. She couldn't do that. She was humiliated in the class for not completing that. She tried talking to her friend, but unfortunately, she was absent that day for the classes, and because she didn't have the phone, she couldn't reach out to her. That girl comes home. She tells her mom, I need your phone for some time. I need to do an assignment. The mom tells her, You can't even live for a day without a phone. You are so addicted. All these are reasons. What you want to do on phone. Another rejection over there. She goes to her dad. She asks her dad, like, when will my phone be repaired? Maybe the dad had a bad day. He also yelled back at her, I don't have time. It will be only on the weekend that I can do this. Now, I don't want you to come back and ask me about phone. So in a day, this girl had several rejections. I know it was for phone that she was thinking of giving up on her life. But it is not just about that phone. It is everything around that phone that happened. And the parents have no idea. The parents have no idea. So those many rejections, those many pressures on her is something that made her think of giving up on life. And we have incidents, we have such incidents in our areas where, we have seen children harming themselves for not having a phone or not getting something from their parents. My thing is, okay, understand, you are also right that one day without phone is okay. Not completing one assignment is okay. They should, of course, learn to wait, deal with things. Everything is fine. And they will learn, trust me. But at least listen. Ask. If your child is coming and telling you, okay, there is an assignment for which I have to have a phone or I will need a phone or something like that, give them some alternative. If you are feeling that probably he or she is lying about it, sit along and do that thing with them. But don't reject them this way. Because that one rejection from the parent implanted that thought of giving up on life. And whenever somebody comes with suicidal ideations, the next question is we ask about the plan. Do you have a plan? Have you thought how you are going to do this? And trust me, this girl had a very concrete plan. Which is scary. Just for that one day, one phone. Usually, if you look at suicidal cases, if you go back, you do your research, it's always like it happened very suddenly. We didn't know what was wrong. There was nothing major. And if we look at statistics, the youths are more vulnerable between the age of 18 to 35 or 40. In India, the topmost reason for suicidal deaths is family problems. It is not mental health problem. Go back and search, just type on Google. It is family issues. So it is very important for you as a parent to ask this question, and if you are getting an answer that I feel helpless, I feel hopeless or something like that, sit with them, listen to them, get them some help. I know nobody likes to come to us. But trust me, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. And the myth of mentally ill people go for therapy or go to psychiatrist, it is absolutely the biggest myth when we talk about mental health. Because to tell you one fact is, when we look at therapy, a person who is not mentally stable, with them we cannot do any kind of therapy. The person is not in their senses only. So therapy is not for mentally ill. Therapy is not for someone who has psychosis. वेड़ेपना, पागलपन जो हम बोलते हैं. So with these kind of patients, we cannot do therapy. They are admitted in hospitals. They are given proper medical help first, medical care, and then when they recover, they come to therapy. So therapy is for someone who is mentally stable, who is able to comprehend but not process their emotions. Therapy is for them. So don't hesitate to seek help. And the last thing is, teachers, school plays a very important role. Because 50% of your child's day or time is invested in school. So you have to be your child's teacher's best friend. Because teachers are trained to observe. They do observe beyond academics. They do. Many times teachers come and tell that we do inform parents. It could be some academic struggles, like he or she is not able to do this or do that. It could be something socially that they are observing, like your child is not getting involved, your child is not staying aloof in class, your child is giving some bad words, using bad language. We do inform parents. We do tell them that we have a school counselor, please go talk to them. But many times there is denial from parents. Nothing is wrong. My child is perfect. My child is being targeted. So if they are telling you something, it's probably a sign that you need to do, or at least talk to your child about that. At least talk. What difficulty are you facing? What is getting difficult? Instead of just putting it under the carpet and pretending that everything is fine, everything is fine. With this, I would like to come towards the questions. If any parents has any questions, or you want to write them on a paper, you don't want to say them loud, you can just write, pass it ahead. I'll read the question and I'll answer them. Or if you want, you can directly ask, probably that would also help. Yes.
Good morning, doctor, and first of all, let me start by congratulating you for giving such a wonderful session. I think there are a lot of insights that you have given to the psychology of children, especially the current age group.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, parents. Mine is not a question, it's a suggestion, if that's okay. When brother addressed us this morning, he spoke about the starting off as a movement. And what I realized when you shared, first of all, I too want to thank you. I whispered in my friend's ears, it's excellent, what you've given us. Now, what I wanted to say, my certain observations, I realized that because you had this session first with our kids, and there was anonymity, when I was reading the questions, I realized how intelligent our children really are, that they can put these kind of questions, but they did it because of anonymity. We are parents sitting over here, and I'm sure there are a lot of parents who may want to come running back to you and ask you personal things. So when brother said movement, I don't know what the future plans are, PTA member, doctor, yourself, the management of this school, but just to share one personal experience, I'm a twin, and twins tend to be, one tends to be passive, one tends to be more open, so I was the introverted one. I studied in Xaviers college and I took psychology, and in the second year there was a subject called psychology of adjustment. And I have to tell you that that particular subject changed my life from one end of the spectrum of being introvertish to being totally opposite. Now the reason is it was a very practical subject. It spoke about self-esteem. The first chapter was on self-esteem, and I remember sitting there and my lecturer talking practical situations. For example, stage fear, enter into your circle of excellence, and I understood these things and was able to practice it in my own space and then see my life transform. If we could bring these kind of things to our students whenever you plan it, they are able to do, because everybody can't go for therapy or rather counseling sessions, but I chose Xaviers for this school for my children was my own experience with Jesuit education. Secondly, the fact that this school is the only school that doesn't conduct exams at the lower stage. I was a teacher in an ICSE school for 18 years and I saw the pressure from kindergarten because I'm a kindergarten teacher. So what I appreciate about this, I don't know if brother is around hearing this, but what I appreciate about this school is these are the things you focus on. Even Mr. Leroy, when you address us with your trips, you know, why you take students out. So I feel that's what Xaviers can do and influence other schools around. But please, if we could have more sessions like this for children where they are anonymous, but they can just get that practical way, you know, this is just my suggestion.
So this is noted by the school.
Hi ma'am, good morning. Ma'am, actually my kid is 12 years old and he has lot of anger issue. So just 2-3 days what had happened, he was playing one game and one of the warrior was killed and he lost the game. He was playing on the mobile. So he banged the mobile on the window and it has broken, the glass has broken. So he called me after some time, "Ke mama, see the glass is broken by itself." I told, okay, you do a video call to me. So he called me and and showed me the glass. So I told him, बेटा कि ये अपने आप से नहीं टूटा है, ये कुछ तो उसमें लगा है, बॉल लगा है या फ़ोन लगा है उसकी वजह से. तो he was कि नहीं मम्मा अपने आप ही टूटा है, अपने आप ही टूटा है. Then I took my husband also had gone. So we told him, okay ठीक है, हम आके बात करते हैं, no problem. So when I came, I kept on asking कि क्या हुआ. He was not telling me. So after half an hour he started to crying and told me कि नहीं मम्मा मेरा ऐसा हो गया. तो मैंने फ़ोन मारा ज़ोर से, इसलिए टूट गया. So he always does something like that, ma'am. So how to cope up these problems?
See, when we talk about anger, okay, anger is a very natural and common emotions. We all get angry. Okay, so very first thing is teach your kids that feeling in a certain way, a certain feeling of anger, disgust, jealousy. These emotions, feelings are very common, natural. Everybody feels them. Accept them over there. Okay, you felt angry. Okay, but the reaction, the behavior that comes can be modified. This we need to teach children. And as you rightly said, this needs to be done at school levels. All emotions are valid, not all behaviors are acceptable. can we express this anger in this way? Give them the alternatives. This particular emotion can be expressed in this way, rather than breaking a glass. Can we just crumble the paper? Can we just punch a pillow? First, focus on the behavior, because to regulate emotion, it is not easy. We all lose our cool at some point. Even I do. Why should I lie? Even I get angry. And everybody does get angry. But we all have choices and we all alter our behaviors. If you are in your boss cabin, you are angry over something, you will not say a word. You will come out. Walk out of the cabin quietly. Same thing happens at home with the spouse. We yell, we scream. Why? Choice. Right? So we all have that within us. We know where to control, how to control. So same is with children. If they are in front of teacher or the principal, in principal's cabin, they will be very decent, like, put their head down and stand and listen everything. But the same thing when it comes to teacher, they don't mind back answering. So yes, we all have that. We can make a choice. We can modify our reactions. We know where to show anger and where not to show anger. So don't focus on the emotions. What we do is, don't get angry, don't get angry. How not to get angry? It's an emotion. The child is going to get angry. We all get angry. There are going to be triggers. Focus on the behavior, reaction that comes. Give them alternatives. Teach them alternative way. Teach them healthy way to express their anger. That is where we need to focus. Yes, ma'am, you had some question. It was on anger. Okay. Anybody else? Any chits or something? If one of the parent is toxic, how does the child deal with it? Or how does the other parent help the child deal with it? Yes. In parents, like we call this as collateral damage. Parents themselves, either of the parent or both of the parents, are struggling with their own mental health struggles. There are so many females who struggle with postpartum depression for years long. Years long. They don't even know that this is something that I am struggling with, which impacts the child. It impacts the child's mental health. So if you feel that my partner or any of the partner or you both have some unresolved conflicts, work on that. Work on that, because insecurity, the feeling of security comes from home. And this feeling, if a child doesn't feel secured, there are going to be lot of mental health concerns. Anxiety in children, if you look at the base, that comes from insecurities. That comes from home. So you as a parent or you as a couple, if you feel that something needs to be done with us, or many times, if the child is not behaving well, child is showing some tantrums or something like that, parents coming for therapy also helps, because we never know how we are causing or how we are damaging our child's mental health. We could be the reason for their behaviors. And many parents do that. If the child is not ready, or before they get the child, they themselves come and they seek therapy, or they have a session or two to understand if something on their end is going wrong. And of course, many parents have the mentality that my child should be perfect. Something is wrong with the child, let him go for therapy. Whenever a child comes for therapy, we do organize some parent counseling sessions. Parents will not take that. We don't need. He needs, she needs, my child needs therapy. It is he or she who has to change. So the answer to this question is resolve your conflict. Push your partner to seek help. Otherwise, the situation around the child, no matter how much ever the child works on himself, herself, if the childhood is going to be like this, he is going to struggle as an adult. Any other question? Yes. Okay. I'll read this. My child came and told me that his friends call him gay, and I feel very bad about it. But will you still love me if I am so? How to deal with this? So yes, identity issues are rising. We have various genders amongst us. We have to be prepared for this. And this particular question, I don't know what age group the child is, but a very important thing to tell your child is that you have time to explore your identity. Don't fall for these labels very soon. Take your time, explore it. If you want, let's speak to a professional. Do not reject them here. The child is saying, will you still love me? The answer should be yes. Always, in any situation, anything, the answer should be yes, I will still love you. You are still my son, I am still there for you. This gives a lot of security, confidence to face whatever is coming ahead. This probably will clear lot of misconceptions around him. This will give him the strength to explore his identity. Sometimes it is just like, they keep on listening to certain things, they are being teased, bullied, and that thing keeps on going on their mind. Am I like this? Am I like this? Am I like this? They start feeling like, for example, if you wake up in the morning and you start telling yourself, I have fever, I am feeling feverish, I am feeling feverish, you will feel feverish. That's how health psychology works. So similar is this, like if the child is teased, you will see when a boy or a girl is teased by another child, eventually they start developing that attraction, even if they didn't have it initially, just by merely the classmates teasing them. So it could be that phase also. So give him that safe place to explore what is happening. And the teasing part is actually bullying. Report this. Report this to the class teacher. Report this to the school authorities. This needs to be taken a strict action. There is one more question. I have heard that counseling helps only if the person follows what he is asked to do. So how do we deal with this if a child is not ready to follow what he is told to do? No. Very first thing of counseling is we never tell the person what they are supposed to do. We don't give any suggestions, advices, because it is not about me telling somebody you do this will help you, is my perspective, my experience. Me as a person is completely different than the person sitting in front of me. For example, I am a very introverted kind of person, doesn't have friends, I don't like social gatherings. The person sitting in front of me is extremely extroverted, likes gathering, have many friends. So some solutions which help me to deal with anxiety or depressive thoughts might not help that person. So counseling is never about telling what to do. It is about exploring what you can do at your best. So that is counseling.
Hello. Ma'am, my daughter is a very active person. She is in extracurricular activities. So about 6 months back, or prior to that, she was through the parish, she went for JDK competitions, and she was given a responsibility by her teacher to teach another child for a one-act play. And that child, she taught him how to do the acts and all. But later on, he developed some flirting, means not flirting, infatuation sort of. And just recently, she told me that that boy is contacting her friends to give her number, to talk to her, to meet her sort of. And his friends are bullying her, she likes him. But she has communicated through her friends that she doesn't like him, just a friend. And she had just given her a guidance, sort of. So when I heard this, actually I was shocked. Means how come this has happened? And then she told me, no, Mama, don't tell Daddy also about it. Don't tell anyone. But I don't keep it that confident. So I told my husband that this is what daughter was saying. So he was actually very disturbed, and he said, stop all these activities. Let her not go, or just let her go with the girls, not any boys. But then I said, see, this is the age, so it happens. But then we'll see what best we can do about it, or should I meet his parents? So what is the solution actually in this? Whether after some conversation 1 day or 2 back, I asked her what happened. Is that boy still behind asking for your number? Then she said, no, Mama, I told my friends to tell him, I have told my mother, and she's going to tell your mother not to do all this. Then he said, I'll stop it from here on. But I don't know how confident that was. I mean, still I'm doubtful whether the problem is solved or not. So what is the solution actually in this?
There are two things here. First thing is, your daughter came and told you this. And she was very clear that, Mama, don't tell this to Dad. Okay? You have already broken a trust here. Of course, you can share it with your husband, but then you have to, keep it like she has told me this. Probably she has her own reasons. It could be fear, it could be respect. Any reason she would have. So, this thing should be taken care of. even when kids come to us for therapy, they always tell us, don't tell this to my mom, don't tell this to my dad. You will not tell this now, you will not tell. And we always give them that assurity that yes, this is confidential, we are not going to disclose this. That is where they feel safe to share. And of course, being a minor, we do put forth things to parents in a very different way, that okay, this is something that your daughter or son is feeling or going through. Okay. Second thing is, she being clear that she doesn't want something like this is very important, which she has already communicated, and that should be the end. When we tell our children no means no, and when your daughter says this, that is it. She doesn't have to feed anybody's emotions, thoughts, whatever they are talking, whatever they are coming and saying. She has to be firm on this, that I am not interested in this. There is a no on my end. We don't have to do anything else over here, is what I personally feel. And of course, stopping her activities, not sending her out, is a temporary solution, like how long you are going to do that. And as you rightly said, this is an age, they are going to be attracted to each other. There are going to be many such instances where she is going to face ahead. Now, if we are giving her this coping strategy that, okay, don't go anywhere, then this is not going to work. Let's give her something very practical. What do you feel? You are not interested, you have said no, so it ends for you there. No matter what the other person does, you have to be indifferent towards him or her. This is a good strategy which she can apply anytime, everywhere in her life ahead.
My daughter is right now in 6th standard. Okay. They have got used to using the phone. They will take mama's phone, they will take the tablet, so they know how to use WhatsApp and YouTube Kids and stuff like that. She's saying, I am going to go to 7th standard, mama. There are old phones lying around in the house. Can I get one of those phones? All the 8th and 9th standard children have phones. Some of my friends in 6th standard have phones because their parents go to work. So they need to have a phone to call up and to speak. So you can give me the phone. You need not, but WhatsApp should be active for it, because I'm going to start using it once I go to 7th standard. I'll be going for classes, I'll be going here, there, everywhere. Right now I can delay it for some time by saying this is not the age, but I think this is a question that all of us are going through. They are seeing the phones at home. Parents are also changing phones. Old phones are still there in the house. We are sending our children for classes. Okay, we need to know where they are. They should be able to contact us if it's an emergency. How do you deal with this? It's a very tricky situation. You need to be in touch with them, but how much access should they have, and how nicely we can tell them that this is the phone, but there are boundaries on it. There are boundaries which you need to understand, which are there on a phone.
The thing is that we cannot deprive our kids of technology, to be very honest. How long? They have to walk hand in hand with this technology world. Okay, so not giving them phone, not having the access to phone seems a little difficult thing these days. Practically it is not getting possible. Yes, as you rightly said, we can delay it for some time. But there are few things that we can do. The very first thing is, whenever you are giving a phone, there has to be strict boundaries. Set boundaries firmly. Maybe write it down, make your daughter or son sign on it. these things will be followed. Otherwise, the phone will be taken away. And if any of the boundary is broken, please give them that consequence. Otherwise, it will be like, mama or dada just says about it, they don't do anything. So what is written on the paper will stay on the paper only. So yes, setting strict boundaries will help. Second thing is, always have your child's number as billing. Billing number. You have the access. What is happening, how much internet is used, what calls are made, whom the calls are made, the frequency, XYZ thing. So you will have some control, and please inform this to your children. Don't keep it like you're spying on them or something like that, but make it a condition that this is how it will be. It will be monitored by me up till this whatever age you feel, whatever age group you set for your child. So there is no complete unsupervised access. And boundaries which you are setting, like with phone, for example, 10 o'clock the phone should be with me or on the table or wherever, whatever. There are high possibilities that your kids will come up and tell you, you also have to do this then. Why this is only for me? You also keep your phone here. If you really need your phone, like I understand some parents have work related calls, XYZ reasons. Please communicate that to your children that I have work up till this time, and then I shall be surrendering my phone on that table or wherever we are supposed to. Rest of the things, no phones on the dinner table, no phones during our conversation time, me time, or whatever rules you all are setting as per your conveniences. Make sure that you also follow them. Otherwise, we telling our children, don't use phone, don't use. I have seen parents like they are on their phone and they keep telling me, "Sagda time ha phone use karto ha." And you yourself are on your phone and you're talking to me, and the person is telling me about the child. So he is learning from you. You are the best example sitting next to you. So then I have to tell the parent in a very nice way that, we have to set some examples. Can we make some modifications? Let's practice them together. So you be mindful about your phone and screen time usage also. Don't watch TV, and then there are grandparents who are sitting for hours in front of the TV. Evening 6 to 10 serials. Now the children are watching this. So you are normalizing that behavior at home, na? Then why are you blaming them? If something is normalized and something is okay for somebody else, then why it is not okay for you? You need to have a very strong, firm reason to give. Because kids nowadays are very smart, intelligent. Due to exposure, they talk about equality and everything. We have the rights. You can't do this to me. Harassment, toxic. You are emotionally blackmailing me. All these words are used against parents, I know. Even teachers face this. My teacher emotionally abused me today in school. This is what kids go home and tell. I'm feeling depressed. So they have enhanced their vocabulary. But somewhere we need to tell them, okay, you're feeling depressed, or is that making you feel sad, upset? There is a difference. So spend some time talking to them also. So yes, firm boundaries, billing system, having some rules which you follow as family will definitely help. We'll take this as a last question. So this is the same question, like, how to deal with mobile phone situation. It's the same. Everybody has it, and now, like, the child feel that he or she is deprived of it. So we cannot for a long time. Practically, we cannot keep them away from technology. With AI coming in, lot of things are going to be, like, we have to provide. Just like how COVID came and we had no options, but we had to give them the screen. So similarly, we cannot deprive them. After certain age, we have to give them. See how much you can delay. Start with some time set, okay, 4 to 5 or 4 to 6, you will have your phone. This is your phone only, but this is your timing. Whatever you want to make a call, do whatever, you do it in this time period. So these things will help you all have some control on this. Thank you so much.
Big hand for Dr. Leeyan. I hope your heads are not too burdened up, or I can see some emotions on the face also. We'll wind up this session. Of course, I will tell you how we are planning to go ahead with it. But since Dr. Leeyan has to go for her hospital visiting, she's affiliated with Cardinal Gracious as a psychologist, so she has to go. So before we go on to the next plan, I'll request our VP of PTA to say a word of thanks, and then let Dr. Leeyan go, then we'll proceed.
Dr. Leeyan, this was an eye-opener, okay? As a parent, now I think we know a little bit how to deal with the things at home. Some of the question marks are answered. A lot more questions have been raised. Awareness is created. So, thank you so much for putting most of the problems into 5 fingers, into this one hand. So we spoke about loneliness, we spoke about stress, we spoke about rejections, we spoke about addiction, and last we spoke about the last. When you go through all those 5 stages and 4 stages, you don't get help, you reach the last stage, which is suicidal thoughts. So we are going to try implementing these. It's not going to be a cakewalk. I think suddenly when we go home and we start sitting with our children and talking to them, they'll wonder, something has gone wrong. Why they are sitting with us? Why they are asking us so many questions? But thank you for enlightening us about it. As we said, we are going to have many more sessions. You will be a visitor over here. You'll be helping our children. You'll be helping us. So thank you very much, and we'll take it forward also.
Okay. So now what we propose to do is, first we had session with students on 23rd August. This is the follow-up session of the students. Because of the questions, the kind of questions that came, we have had the opportunity to have this session. After this, we will be sitting with teachers also with similar questions. With the set of questions that we got, we will be sitting and having a session with teachers. They also need to identify, like what Dr. Leeyan pointed out, identifying these 5 things is also very important. Okay, so we also, and as some of you suggested, that half of the time children spend in school. Okay, so it is very important to have a similar session with teachers. Now you are given a homework of, this is not the end of the session. Now the session begins. Okay, you are given a homework to be with your child, and if you have any insights on the pointers that are given. Okay, now just don't go home and try to find out what is wrong with my child. That is not what we intend. We have equipped you with certain data. Okay, your house, your friend's house, if you find certain pointers, you can divide them, and then probably we can take the next step of individual meeting. Okay, if you bring this to your notice, if teachers bring to your notice certain behavior. Now, we have come across this behavior from parents. Okay, if a teacher points out to certain problems in a student and a student is sent to a counselor, okay, parents get defensive. Why is this? Why have sent my child is not mentally ill? That is not the case. Now you know what the problems are, right? So sending a child to a counselor is to help the child grow. It is not because there is some major mental illness with your child, right? So you should change your frame of mind also, because we have got these cases and we have got parents coming and telling the school about all these things. Okay, so this is how we plan to go ahead. We will take a step at a time, the way we took this step. Okay, and we will try and proceed further. In the meantime, papers are still here, pens are here. If you want to sit for 5 minutes, close your eyes, reflect on whatever has happened. I definitely know you have some thoughts, but you may not have formulated those thoughts or articulated those thoughts into writing down the queries or writing down your thoughts. Your children have done it so well. I'm proud of them. Okay, so you can take time, you can wait here for another 10-15 minutes. If you have anything, write down. Don't miss this opportunity. Write down. We will try and sort these things out. Okay, so thanks to all of you for coming. I guess whoever came benefited a lot from this session. We got certain things which we didn't know, or we knew but we didn't know how to cope up with it. Those who did not come, please pass on this message. We are having a YouTube recording which will be put up on the YouTube. Please pass on this session to whoever you know, so that others can benefit from this session. Okay, thank you so much. You can leave. Anyone wants to leave, you can sit if anyone wants to sit. Thank you so much.